into a new type of highlights and broadcasts that we are trying to do. This is the first race. It's the Daytona 150 at the Daytona International Speedway Tri-Oval. We have 5 drivers with us today, and we are going around for 60 laps, 150 miles. Pole position for Frankie, followed by Diogo Silva, Diogo Almeida in third place, Scott Davely in fourth, and Randy Polgarelk, the newcomer to this series. Welcome. And we have very exciting racing going on. We are about to start. We will fast forward certain parts of this race whenever not much is happening on track or when we are on caution. But for now, let's go to the start of this race. And this is the first problem, which is to actually put this in play mode. We are about to go in the start, and away they go. Away they go here at Daytona, the 5 drivers, and Frankie is in the lead already, with Diogo Silva taking the lead. Diogo Silva taking the lead on the outside of turn 1, and he's got the lead, and he's going to keep it into turn 1 in this first lap here at Daytona. We seem to have a problem already with one of the drivers. That was Scott Davely, coming very low in turn 2 and losing a little bit of time, but still keeping some contact with the pack. Very important to keep in contact with the pack due to drafting. Look at that already. Some pushing and shoving there. That was Diogo Almeida and Frankie almost getting together. Randy Polgarelk has moved into second place. Nice job there. He started 5th and he's already in second place. Someone went into the wall there. Someone into the wall and almost into the pits. That was, I believe, Diogo Almeida in 4th place. He's having a bit of trouble controlling this Ford Fusion stock car in this Daytona Oval. Scott Davely now 4 seconds adrift off the pack, and this is already significant as they are already at full racing speed. And of course, we have here a situation that if you lose contact with the pack, you are pretty much on your own, as Scott Davely is finding out battle for the lead there with Randy Polgarelk. He wants that lead. Diogo Silva has led the first ever lap here at the Oval Mini League in Old Folks Racing. We hope to see more drivers joining future events. We are running on Tuesday night, every other Tuesday, and of course we run only on ovals. We are already on lap 3 and everything pretty much continues to be the same. Nice battle there for the lead, but it's a very early stage and really not much at stake here except perhaps to keep track position. These drivers are not used to having cautions, so they will have to get used to that, because in the main league of Old Folks Racing there are no cautions. But of course here in Oval Racing there are caution rules which are manual, so this means that if there is an incident between 2 drivers and both drivers are affected by that incident, it will mean that the race will be neutralized, everyone will be single file, no overtaking. It will probably be a good time to pit, and then a restart will be given in the following lap, as we continue to have very nice battles there. And Randy Polgarelk actually has taken the lead from Diogo Silva. Diogo down to second, and now we have Frankie and Diogo Almeida all over the place. Frankie in that number 11 Danny Hamlin look-alike car. Diogo in the yellow and red car. They're trying to defend his second place. And look at this. This pack of 3 with drafting have already reached Randy Polgarelk again, and now they're trying to go side by side, or will they? We are still in lap 4, so very early stages to run side by side, but Diogo Silva is already trying to make the high line work, as he is now coming back at Randy, and in the meantime Frankie is actually quite active, drafting from the leader Randy as well. Continues to be side by side, very close racing between these 4, and then poor Scott Davely, he's already almost 5 seconds adrift of the pack. These guys just continue to draft off one another and continue to gain a substantial speed advantage as they now try to run side by side for the first time in this Daytona 150. Frankie is on the inside, as is leader Randy Polgarelk. Frankie really very dicey there, almost going into the pit lane entrances. They are now side by side, 2 by 2, and lots of pushing and shoving. I wonder how much more time are we going to have this race under green, because oh, and there's a crash. There's a crash there. That was Diogo Almeida and Frankie got together. And look at this, Diogo Almeida, backwards and hard into the wall. Let's look at the replay of this to see exactly what has happened. Let's see who actually went into whom. So let's look at this. We've got and actually let's try to move these to Diogo Almeida's. Well, why not? Let's do the onboard, or should do the onboard. Let's do the onboard. Sorry, I'm new to these. There you go. This will be better in future broadcasts. Here we are on board with Diogo Almeida. He's in third place on the inside, and he comes into Frankie's pathway, and there you go. Mayhem between these two drivers. Diogo then coming hard into the wall, and that's not the end of his race, because we do have the reset button. There you go. There's an and Scott Davely actually hit Diogo Almeida after Diogo hit the reset button. That was quite a striking move. Of course, drivers are entitled to use the reset button here in this league. As we are now under caution, let's see if someone is going to pit or not. Otherwise, we'll have an immediate restart. As we are in lap 6, so about 10% of the race done. Let's see if we've got any takers for pit lane this time round. We still have quite a lot to go, so it's pretty early to pit, but they will all need to pit because not enough fuel is in these cars for the start, and I believe that we'll have Randy Pogarok and Diogo Silva both coming into pit lane. So this means that Frankie, who was actually involved in this incident, is going to jump into the lead. There you go. You can see here the pit lane. They're going very slowly at pit lane speed. Of course, we always have this guy here on the left of your screen at the top left waving the green flag, but of course we are actually under yellow as we continue to see Diogo and Randy in pit lane. Let's go. Let's put a bit of fast forward here, shall we? Because otherwise we'll just see cars going very slowly. Let's just see. Let's just go to the restart point. I believe that we'll have to wait for Diogo and Randy to get off from pit lane, and here they are. Diogo is actually in 4th place, and Randy is coming very quickly, but he is well, he's not allowed to do that. He's not allowed to overtake other cars. Let's go a bit faster before this restart, and we are going to see if we've got the green flag. Everyone is in the correct order. There you go. And the order for this restart on lap 7 is Frankie in the lead, followed by Diogo Almeida, Scott Davely in 3rd, and the drivers who pitted are Diogo Silva and Randy Pogarok in 4th and 5th. Let's watch the restart. I'm sure we have more action, and nice for Scott Davely. He actually managed to go back into the pack after this caution, as we have a restart and go on lap 7, as we are now, and a good restart from leader Frankie, also good restart from Scott Davely, who takes 2nd place, and here comes the battle of the Diogos for 3rd, with Diogo Almeida defending from Diogo Silva, and let's see if they are going to tangle, and Diogo is defending quite actively there. We should actually move the cameras to someone else. There you go, that's Diogo Almeida, Diogo Silva battling there for 3rd place, and I think Diogo Silva got the job done on the inside of turn 3. He's got the job done, and Diogo Almeida is on the high side, which is probably not the best place to be to maximize your speed, as here comes Randy Pogarok. They probably have new tires as well, Diogo and Randy, so they're probably going to be quicker than these drivers, but Frankie has disappeared into the lead. He's got 1.4 second leads now from these 4 quartet of drivers, and Diogo Almeida is in the wall. He's lost time. He hit the outside wall. He then went back into the inside of the track, pretty much losing a lot of time, and clearly I don't distinguish the R2 from the L1 from the R1 button here. So let's go back to this battle as we have now Scott Daisley in second place. Diogo Silva on the high side. He's trying to make that high side work. He is in front of Scott now at the start-finish line, but I wonder if he's going to be able to complete the move. Not quite. Scott comes back at him, and so does Randy. Diogo is now the driver left out of this pack, and probably these guys will want to work together to make up the distance to leader Frankie, and if they draft from one another, they'll probably be able to do that and to very quickly recover the lost ground. Diogo Silva now, I think, he's got the job done on Scott Daisley, or does he not? Scott comes back on the inside. Nice battle there, side by side, through the corner, almost a full lap side by side from these two drivers. That is excellent, clean racing like we want to have here at Old Fox Racing PS4 Oval Racing Mini League. We are running a total of 7 events over the coming weeks. We'll of course go to Indianapolis, we'll go to Monza Oval, we'll go to Texas Motor Speedway, pretty much every oval that is available in Project Cars Tour. And here comes Diogo Silva on the outside again, and Randy Polgorelk, he is very, very close, an interested spectator there in this battle, as we are already in lap 11, so almost a fifth of the race is complete. So still 80% of the race to go, and now Diogo actually lets Scott through, and he's under attack from Randy. Yes, he is. I think Diogo just decided to give up on the particular use of the outside line as expected. They recovered ground to leader Frankie, and now it's again a quartet for the lead, side by side, with a little bit of weaving there by Randy Polgorelk in third place. He's trying to find the right position. Scott Daisley is now stuck on the outside, and the leaders are on the inside. Diogo Silva is now actually observing, trying to see how to best do an overtake there, almost 3 wide. Randy Polgorelk was thinking about it, but wisely decided to back out of it, as we're now in turn 3. As we have again, side by side, Scott Daisley and Frankie for the lead. Randy Polgorelk and Diogo Silva is... Oh! And that's not a crash, that's just a bad connection with a little bit of lag. And Randy there looked almost like a frog, just jumping, which is a little bit difficult for the other drivers to avoid, really, because you don't really know where the other car is. Now those problems seem to be solved. Scott Daisley now stuck on the outside. The outside is proving to be not the greatest line around here, as now Randy seems to have a slight advantage over Scott, and I think he's got the job done on him as he's trying to draft from the leader. Here comes Diogo Silva now, trying to make here a bit of a train of 3 drivers on the inside, and poor old Scott Daisley is on the outside, and he hits the wall. He hits the wall slightly. He lost control of his car, and now look, he is... Oh, and he's crashed. He's crashed, and will he be able to continue without... Oh, no, of course not. This is another crash, and Scott Daisley up in the air. That's our second caution. We are on lap 13, and we have our second caution of the day. Let's see which drivers decide to pit this time. Very good turnout here at Daytona Motor Speedway, as we have a full house to see these 5 drivers. Obviously, Scott Daisley and Diogo Almeida both are deciding to pit. That was the obvious choice, as they haven't pitted in the last caution, and they're at the back of the pack anyway, so they have absolutely nothing to lose here. We are going to see where the leaders are. There you go. They are, of course, waiting for the others to come. Let's do a bit of fast forward right here to the restart. I think that we're going to do another lap of caution, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if we've got any takers for pit lane amongst the trio of drivers who wasn't involved, or who weren't involved, I'm sorry, in the accident. It seems that Diogo Silva is going to come in, Scott Daisley is going to come in, and Diogo Silva as well. So Frankie is the only driver that has not pitted in this caution. Therefore, let's just fast forward this caution lap as we follow Frankie, who is in the lead of this race, but of course we'll have to wait for the other 4 drivers to restart. Scott Davely, no, Randy Pogorelk actually turns out he's going to be in 2nd place for this restart. 3rd is going to be Diogo Almeida. Someone has spun. Someone has spun, and this is a really odd incident, and that was Frankie. Frankie has spun. I wonder what happened in there. Let's try to have a look at this replay to see if we can establish what happened here. He seems to be hit from behind by Randy Pogorelk, or what on earth has happened here? This is a very, very weird incident, and I think that, oh no, Frankie just decides to stop the car on his own. That's a really, really bizarre incident, which then requires us to go back to the leader for the restart. Let's just fast forward a little bit more. It's quite a long oval here at Daytona, of course, as they come now for the restart, and we are restarting the race on lap 15. Everyone has pitted except Frankie, who happens to be in last because he lost it under yellow. Quite an unusual situation, but of course it happens to the best drivers, and of course he still has a shot at the win here because we are still with 3/4 of the race to go, as we are now going for the restart with leader Randy Pogorelk, followed by Scott Davely, followed by Diogo Almeida, Diogo Silva and Frankie in 5th place. So now let's see if the pack is going to stay together or not. Here comes Frankie on Diogo Silva, who has had a very poor restart. Very poor restart from Diogo Silva. Is it an error, or is this just strategy to be at the back of the pack? Probably save some fuel, probably save a bit of your tires at this stage of the race. In any case, Randy Pogorelk with that number 2 Ford Fusion stock car is in the lead of the race, and the others are lining up nicely to continue to battle side by side, wheel to wheel here at Daytona Motor Speedway, as we have now completed a quarter of the race, more than a quarter of the race. We are already in lap 16, and we already had 2 cautions. Of course, rules of this league specify maximum cautions per event. We are doing a bit of a trial run here, a pilot race, to see if the caution system works. Of course, we don't want to spend the entire race just doing cautions. But the reality is, with just 5 drivers, we probably can allow a few more cautions to happen. Let's see how many we'll end up with. And already you can see that Diogo Almeida is closing in the leader, and again forming the familiar side-by-side formation here in this oval. Of course, it hasn't really worked out for drivers on the high side. As you can see, the low side, look at Diogo Silva. He was in last just a few corners ago, and he's now in 2nd place, at least on the start-finish line. He's got the job done on Diogo Almeida. Yes, he has, and he's now drafting from the leader. Very, very close battle here, and everyone trying to keep on the inside line. But on the other hand, if you are on the inside line and drafting, you've got more momentum, you've got more speed, you've got to go somewhere. Here Diogo Almeida really trying to go on the outside, but really losing position after position. He is now under attack by Frankie, who is now in 3rd place, while Scott Davely has lost a little bit of time, but he's still in touch with the pack, so no big deal. Side-by-side racing is what we wanted to see here at Daytona, and it's not disappointing as we complete yet another lap, with some drivers having pitted twice already and some having pitted once. I believe that Diogo Silva and Randy Pogorelk have pitted twice, whilst all others have pitted just once. In fact, you only need 1 fuel stop in this race, but you might decide to change tires. Almost contact there. Contact between Randy and Diogo. Diogo backs out of it and loses momentum, and when you do that here at the Daytona Oval, it means you're pretty much going backwards, and he's moving from 2nd to 4th in a matter of a couple of corners as Randy continues to lead this race. Now Scott Davely on the high side, and Frankie trying to draft on the low side. Scott gets out of it. So now the order is Randy, Frankie, Scott, Diogo, and Diogo at the back of the pack. As we complete yet another lap, we are about to get into the 2nd third of this race, and they're trying to continue to draft from one another, battle for the lead there. I think that the strongest drivers here are probably Randy. Frankie has done a pretty good job as well. So I would say these are probably the ones that I would think that Oh, and the touch between the Diogos. Oh dear, oh dear. It's a crash between the Diogos. Let's pause it because we would like to have a look at what happened here. And I think this was just Diogo Silva getting into the pathway of Diogo Almeida. Let's see it from Diogo Silva's onboard camera. Let's see, select the onboard camera here. There you go. Let's see what has happened. Is Diogo Silva was on the inside, and he just they basically went into each other's pathway, and big hit. Yes, it's coming. There you go, big hit. Of course, only visual damage here in this league, but it means we do have another caution. Yet again, we are neutralizing this race. Here is the leaders on boards. Let's go trackside to see if anyone will pit, as I believe we have completed some green flag laps since the last restart. Let's see if there are any takers for the pit lane. It seems that Frankie is now pitting. I don't think he has pitted last time. He hasn't, so he was actually in the lead and then lost it under yellow. So clearly Frankie might be in need of some fuel and or tires. Other drivers are not stopping, I believe. Let's see if Diogo Silva will pit or not. I don't think so either. Oh no, he has pitted. Diogo Almeida has also pitted, and Frankie. So now let's just fast forward to the next restarts as we wait for the drivers that have pitted under caution. Let's see what will happen in the remaining two-thirds of this race. Very exciting race. Of course, it would be much better with more drivers, but we will have an event very shortly in Texas Motor Speedway, where we do expect more of the old folks to turn up and turn left. Let's see now the restart. Randy is in the lead, followed by Scott Davely, Diogo Silva, Diogo Almeida, and Frankie. They are now lining up for the restart, and we will restart this race on lap 21 out of 60, 150 miles here at Daytona. Of course, this is also a pilot race to see if it's too long or too short, and some adjustments may be required in future rounds. Restart is happening with Randy Pogarelk in the lead, followed by Scott Davely, Diogo Silva, Diogo Almeida, and Frankie is already up to fourth. Good restart from Frankie as they get up to speed into turn number 1 here at Daytona Motor Speedway. And Diogo Silva is on the attack and is already lining up Scott Davely, who is trying to weave to put some temperature in his tires, but Diogo is having none of it and he's trying to draft from the American driver, Scott Davely. Here comes Diogo Silva now on the inside. Scott Davely is going to try to defend on the outside. Frankie momentarily looked like he was going to go 3 wide there, but not quite, as they continue to battle, and Scott Davely is finding out again that the high side in this track, with this particular combination of tires and car, is not proving to be particularly fruitful, as Frankie gets into third place, and Scott Davely now under attack from Diogo Almeida, as now the battle for the lead side by side. Diogo Silva and Randy go into turn 1. Now it's Diogo trying to make the high side work. Let's see if he manages to keep the momentum, keep the speed, and get some side-by-side racing here. Getting a bit of help from Frankie. Frankie also coming now on the outside. Look at this. Amazing driving here at Daytona Motor Speedway as they continue to battle. Diogo is going to go. Has he cleared Randy? No, he hasn't. He has to give him space. That's the new oval etiquette rules that these drivers need to get used to, because they are used to race in very different conditions. Look at this, Frankie trying to make it 3 wide for the lead, and they touch again. 3 wide was unlikely to work. It was Randy, and big hit there. Big hit, a big crash. Thankfully, this is online racing. Thankfully, there's only visual damage. This means that we have yet another caution on lap 24, and I wonder if the race organizers are going to find that maybe these are a little bit too many cautions, and if something should be done about it. Of course, we are experimenting here. Let's fast forward to the restart, as we will have a restart right now. I don't know if there are any takers for pit lane. I don't think so. I think we'll have an immediate restart. Yes, that's the case. With now Diogo Silva in the lead on lap 24, followed by Scott Davely, Diogo Almeida, Randy and Frankie, of course, who have tangled there just after the start-finish line. Now it's possible, theoretically, but very unlikely that three-wide racing is going to work with this combo in this track. Of course, in real life, we do see three-wide racing as they now restart with pretty much 35 laps still to go. And three-wide racing is possible, but really you need to be so precise in your racing line that literally everyone needs to be in tandem. And of course they have spotters here in Old Folks Racing PS4 Oval Racing Mini League, the ORL. There are spotters, automated spotters, and look at that, already some contact there between, I believe, Scott Davely and Diogo Almeida. That was for second place, with now Diogo Silva in the lead of the race. Scott Davely continues to try to warm up his tires as they're now on lap 26 of 60, and look at that, racing is already back into one pack. It's only a matter of a few corners of drafting before these drivers come together again, and now they're trying to run single file for a while, see if that works better for them. At this stage of the race, it's really a stage of some strategic interest, as you are probably now thinking whether you want to pit again if there is another caution, or if you are going to prioritize track position and try to remain in the lead. Diogo is now trying to defend on the inside and trying to remain in the lead, but look at that, it's incredible how drafting works here with Randy drafting from Diogo against Scott Davely. Is bravely trying to work on the outside of Diogo, trying to run side by side, but not quite. He's already under attack by Randy Pongorato, and the almost contact there with Frankie. Very interested spectator there. And what has happened to Diogo Almeida? He has had a problem, certainly, because he is 4.3 seconds from the leader and now has lost touch with the pack, which, if this happens in the few initial laps, it's not a big deal, but at this stage of the race, it is potentially dangerous. It is potentially very, very, very dangerous, as basically these four drivers are now into one pack and not really running side by side, but thinking about it, but already have figured out that it's very tricky to run side by side systematically here at Daytona Motor Speed. Look at Scott Davely now again trying the outside, and the only result is basically to be under pressure from Frankie. Very interesting battle at this point, and I wonder if it still holds that Frankie and Randy are probably the best cars right now. Diogo Silva is trying to show otherwise, that he can actually be a contender for victory here, as we are approaching the midpoint of this race, and these four drivers continue to battle wheel to wheel here at Daytona, with Diogo Silva now actually in quite a disciplined way. As you can see, he's really not moving outside at all. He's just keeping his car very, very close to that yellow line. Of course, theoretically, it's not possible to go under that line, and Scott Davely is in the wall again. Scott Davely is in the wall again and has lost time. Let's see if Diogo Almeida has managed to recover. Yes, he has. Diogo Almeida has recovered ground and he's now in fourth. Oh no, he's not, sorry. I apologize, that was Frankie. Diogo Almeida is actually now 11 seconds from the leader. And this is starting to get quite dangerous for the Portuguese driver, as at front we now have more space between the cars, with Frankie as well losing some time and being far away enough so he doesn't have the draft. And in the meantime, we haven't really seen this, but Jumpy Randy, basically, he's having some connection problems again. Jumpy Randy has taken the lead of the race, and this is actually the midpoint of the race. They're about to complete lap 30, And now in the second half of the race, you have to be a little bit more careful how you think about your track position, how you also think about your tires as they now complete lap 30. And yes, we are in the middle of the race here in the Oval Racing League, first round of 7 races. Scott David and Frankie are trying to work together to see if they can recover some ground. Diogo Silva being there quite careful because really he doesn't know where Randy's car actually is, because he doesn't know what is the actual car position versus what is the lag just in connection. Now the problem seems to have sorted itself out with Randy continue to lead, but now here they go. He doesn't know if Randy is running wide or if this is just a connection problem, but he's probably going to go for it, or is he? No, he's not going for it. He's not going for it, and at this point he's just happy to be in the leading pack probably, and hoping that at the later stage he's going to be able to basically grab Randy's lead as he continues to battle. Now he has disappeared altogether. And has re-emerged in second place, so maybe something has happened. I think the leg problems have probably affected Randy himself, and what has happened? He has spun. He has spun on his own, and it's a long big spin, and oh, beautifully taking some of those pieces there. I wonder if this is going to be a caution or not, because it was only a single car incident, but I believe the drivers may have called a caution. I wonder what has happened here. Yes, they have called a caution. Diogo Silva, the leader, is actually pitting, which is surprising at this point. He's surprisingly pitting, and Randy continues to spin on his own. No, Diogo has given up pitting and has actually preferred to keep track position, which at this point is probably more sensible, as we have yet another caution. I believe this is our 4th caution of the day. And let's now fast forward to the next restart, as now it starts to be quite important to keep track position, and most of these drivers should be able to go to the end now on fuel, and they probably have tires that are good enough. Let's now go for the restart with 27 laps to go. Diogo Silva is the leader, followed by Frankie, Scott Davis, Diogo Almeida, and of course Randy, who has, I'm not entirely sure if he has pitted or not, but he of course lost track position with that crash. We are now going to go for the restart, and now things possibly getting a little bit more heated up here at Daytona, as these drivers start thinking about track position, and really defending their positions now until the end of the race. It's still very uncertain who's going to win here in Daytona, as they have now restarted with Diogo Silva in the lead. And let's see how quickly the pack is going to come together. Look at that, they are pretty much separated from one another, but the draft effect is so powerful here at Daytona. Look at that at the back, that was Diogo Almeida and Randy trying to battle with one another for 4th place. And look at that, it's already Frankie in Diogo Silva's tail, and we have a battle for the lead. Yes, they are coming together, and yes, it takes more or less a lap for this to happen, as Frankie is now in the lead pack. Scott Davis is in 3rd place, but look at that, the pack has actually split now into 2, and I wonder if the leaders are going to work together, at least to avoid side-by-side racing, to see if they can just draft from one another and maintain their positions and not be threatened by the secondary pack that is forming with the remaining 3 drivers. Let's see if that will work. These 3 drivers are really going for it at the back, and they're already recovering some ground, so I think it will be a matter of time before we have a pack of 5 drivers battling for position. Let's see if Diogo and Frankie have the intelligence, the discipline, the cooperation to work together and try to avoid being caught. So far they seem to be doing that. They seem to not be going into any sort of side-by-side racing or anything that can slow them down. I think if they continue to work together, they have a chance to be at least clear enough from the pack, as we have saw someone has dropped off that pack, and that is Scott Davely. Scott Davely has lost time, and we are going to try to see what has happened to him here. Let's go and try to find out what has happened to him in this race. And he has spun on his own. That was, or has he? Or was he spun? He was battling with Randy Polgarelt and he hit the wall and lost it on his own. Did he hit Diogo Almeida? No, not quite. That number 44 black for Fusion. Scott Davely has lost time, but I don't think that the caution will be called, because it's only an incident with one driver that does not qualify for the caution rule. So there was some contact, but only one driver was affected by this crash. So Scott Davely now will have to hope that there is another caution at some point for him to recover almost 20 seconds. It's more than 20 seconds right now from the leaders, as we are already in lap 36 of 60. And this is now a little bit more serious, because we may not have another caution. We have 2 packs of 2, so theoretically it is possible that any of these 4 drivers tangle with one another, but let's see what happens. Scott Davely may have a big problem in his hands, as the battle for the lead is increasingly heated between Diogo and Frankie. They now continue to work together, but a little bit less intensively. They're now more like competing for the lead, as Frankie is trying to go side by side on the outside, which is something that has not worked all day for anyone. So I wonder how it is going to work for him. Let's see how this is going to evolve. This is a critical stage in the race. Look at that, Diogo already in the yellow line, trying to defend the low side from Frankie. And we have another problem, because Diogo Almeida has actually lost touch with Randy. So now this is bad news for Diogo. This is bad news for Scott Davely as well, because now we only have 2 drivers together. We only have 2 drivers together, and this is definitely bad news for those drivers that lost touch with the pack, because the only battle so far in the track is the battle for the lead here, with Diogo Silva and Frankie side by side, as we complete yet another lap, and we are about to enter the last third of this race here at Daytona International Speedway. Nice battle for the win here, and who is going to be? Now it looks very likely that either Diogo or Frankie are going to be the winners of this first round, as they go side by side now into turn 1 here at Daytona. Third place man is Randy. He's 3 seconds away. It's not a huge distance, but it's pretty much impossible for Randy to actually recover any ground, because he's not drafting from anyone. He doesn't even have back markers to help him out, and I think these 2, if they play nicely, they can just keep in this position until the end, and then in the last lap it's well, probably going to be mayhem. But let's see. That's probably the most logical thing to do, as they now continue to race, but not as actively so as to allow Randy to close into them. Let's see how this battle evolves. Let's do a bit of fast forwarding, because not much seems to be happening in the race. You see Randy is 3 seconds away. Diogo is 11 seconds from the leader. Scott Davely is a further 11 seconds adrift. Let's at least go into 3 times the speed, which makes them look like they're going really quickly. Lap 40 out of 60, we are entering the last third of the race. Let's see for how much longer they are going to battle. These 2 at the front are actually quite disciplined. I'm actually very, very surprised that they're deciding to work together like this, as they let's see what has happened in this race. a little bit further ahead. Diogo continues to lead, and I think he's actually going to manage to lead the most laps here at this race in Daytona, even if he doesn't win it. Probably this means that these races should be a little bit shorter. Oh, and here comes Frankie for the lead. Actually, we missed that, and we are going to show you the replay, because I think that's Frankie on the inside, and Diogo actually left him the inside completely open. And I think Diogo probably wants to do a bit of drafting himself, so nothing really to report here. We are in lap 44, so 16 laps to go. In real NASCAR, this will probably be a good time for a caution for debris in turn 2 or something else like that. But here, of course, we don't have such artificial means of spicing up a race. We probably need to think about in future events how to avoid the situation that we are seeing right now, where we pretty much see, and now Diogo is actually losing time. I wonder if he's got fuel problems. He may have fuel problems, really. He may have fuel problems. Diogo Silva may actually be in trouble, because if he's got to pit again, he's going to lose an enormous amount of time. So maybe he's trying to manage the fuel to the end. Frankie is now the leader, and he's 1.4 seconds now. We actually have all drivers separated. We have no pack. As we are going to put a bit of fast forward here in this race. Let's follow Diogo, because he might have actually some fuel problems. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to pit or not, but we should remain very close to Diogo Silva, because he actually might not have enough fuel to the end. And I wonder what's going to happen with the others as well. If Diogo has got fuel problems, maybe the others will have fuel problems too, and all of a sudden Frankie has more than 2 seconds in the lead, as they are now entering the final 10 laps, and we are in fast forward because not much is happening in the racetrack, except possibly a few pit stops. So let's see what happens. This is fascinating in a slightly different way. It's not close racing, but it is still uncertain who has the fuel to go to the end and who was actually relying on the caution. I think the problem with Diogo is that he was relying on another caution to pit, and now that the fuel is spread out, he got completely caught out, because, and here he comes to pit lane, and this is a total disaster that we are going to witness live. Number 15, Diogo Silva, is in pit lane to refuel. He probably doesn't need a lot of fuel, but that is a total disaster for his race, because he's going to drop to 5th and last for sure, as Frankie. And is he going to go a lap down? I think he's going to go a lap down as well, which is again another disaster. There you go. There goes the leader. No, that was Scott Davely. I'm sorry, not the leader. Let's see if Diogo manages to at least stay on the lead lap. Of course, he will be able to get the lap back if he. And here comes Diogo Silva out of pit lane and back into the track. And where is Diogo? I wasn't entirely sure what has happened. I think Diogo has spun, actually. Diogo has spun, and now he's definitely a lap down, and that is how he probably did not want his race to end. He's also going to be led by Randy, who is in 2nd place. Let's go back to the leader to see what's happening. We are in lap 54 already, and Frankie now has a 6-second lead over Randy. Diogo Almeida is in 3rd place, Scott Davely is in 4th, and Diogo Silva is a lap down in 5th. So 6 laps to go, and we are going to try to fast forward things a little bit to see if we're going to have any more drummers, or if it's just going to be a slight procession here at the end, a bit of an anticlimax in this opening round of the Oval Racing League. But we hope to improve the format in such a way that these situations are less likely. In the first instance, that will involve having more drivers in the track, because if we have more drivers, that's actually very unlikely that they are going to be spread out. Of course, Daytona is also an exceptionally long oval at 2.5 miles in the shorter oval. Again, with more drivers, this would be very unlikely to happen, as we are going to follow now live the last 2 laps of leader Frankie as he now enters the penultimate lap, as Randy Polgorek is in second place. Let's see where he is. Here he is, and Diogo Silva there is a lap down. So no major news here. Let's hope that no one else actually runs out of fuel, because now it would be a very, very big disaster, and certainly someone would probably go back to last if they have a fuel problem at this point. Where is Frankie? Frankie is now entering his last lap. There he is. He's cruising to victory. He's got 5 seconds advantage from Randy, with Diogo Almeida a further 6 seconds behind. So last lap here at Daytona, a bit of an anticlimax. I think Frankie is going to win, and we had initially identified him as one of the contenders, key contenders to this victory, and it seems that he is going to do it. He's going to be the inaugural winner of this league, as behind him Randy is also cruising. Scott Davley is out of fuel. Scott Davley is out of fuel. He's pitting at the start of his last lap. The question is, can Diogo Silva can Diogo Silva actually recover 4th place? He will need to unlap himself, or... Oh, and Randy is out of fuel as well. Randy is out of fuel. Frankie has won the race. Frankie has won the race. Well done to Frankie. He has run out of fuel. And where is Diogo Almeida? Diogo Almeida is going to beat him to the line, or is he? We have an exciting finish here at Daytona as Randy tries to get to the line first. No, Diogo is going to get to the line first, and that is drama. Drama in the last lap, as we see here. Frankie followed by Diogo Almeida, followed by Randy Polgorel, followed by Diogo Silva and Scott Davley. That's your top 5. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.